bed sitting down. This will be fun. I'm going to take you on a journey of the nostalgic and the profane. I'll start with the nostalgia. Beyond the law. He erased rules with a curse and a wave of his hand. We knew more about him from stories than genealogy. He outran treasury agents during Prohibition on the East Coast. This undefined cousin, somehow related to my dead grandfather, settled in the Sierras after making wine for wealthy Swiss Italians, then quit without explanation, setting off on his own. During childhood, he was the laughing man who sang in dialect after the first bottle, reigning over every family feast, a pope in disguise. Later, he brought trays of sautéed mushrooms cut from the trunk of another man's bark, recipes for fermenting sweet brandy, offers to construct a camouflaged still in my backyard. In his screened summer kitchen, I remember him simmering stolen tomatoes, stuffing ground venison into salami skins, deer killed out of season despite the alien law from some private back road. From mother to daughter. Life, you once said, is like cutting an onion. You cry your way through it. I think of you, slice poems into supper. Your tears rise like oven burns, cover your forearms. A drawer of stale bread heels represses hunger. In dreams, your weeping ghost pries my mouth open. Shame. Your mother says she's the only woman in her community with 2 daughters and 6 sons-in-law. You are an embarrassment with your temporary addresses, suspicious political inclinations, odd dietary habits, come-and-go lovers. She's ashamed you failed as a farm wife, couldn't keep a good secretarial job for over 30 years like her. You are condemned to live alone, never have children, waste your life surrounded by grubby artists and slackers. Every night she phones to criticize and recite your offenses, leave you with an earful of admonitions, obligations, and a migraine or worse. Life in the early Bracero. We were volatile and vocal, musicians, poets, photographers, sharing a flophouse on the wrong side of the tracks in the barrio section of town. Here, the door was always open, cold beer plentiful, more than enough weed and wine to go around. Parties were spontaneous and continual. Once started, the feasting, fucking, and fighting could extend for weeks at a time. Anyone might be scribbling poetry at the kitchen table, loading blues onto the stereo turntable, filming an experimental video, committing adultery, playing exquisite corpse, performing passionate art. Strangers would wander in to verify rumors, take one look and run like hell. We were a family of washed-ashore misfits, emotionally damaged, economically unstable, the most creative we would be for the rest of our lives. My newest book is a compilation of poems that are actually riffs off of lines from Charles Bukowski poems. So I'll start with a quote and then the poem. The quote, "The contest of life continues." This one's called Hard. At 30, my husband demanded I look and act as if I was 16. It was like forcing my foot into a shoe 3 sizes too small, cramming myself into a life that no longer fit. When we separated, guilt made me report for duty in response to his once-a-week call. He'd leave $50 on the nightstand next to his bed, tell me I'd be so much happier, probably still married, if I just didn't think. After, I would pump iron for hours, run 7 cross-country miles, shower and scrub myself raw. I pared away feminine softness, built muscles of steel, became invulnerable and invincible, made myself hard. And this quote is, "There can be nothing great said." Last night on the town. The barista at fermentation shows me 16 stitches over her eyebrow, tells me how the local physician's assistant sewed her up for only $35. She promises an introduction, my insurance against future tanked-up disasters. Says when I move here, we'll be best buds forever. At Mosey's, old drunken hippies play rotation pool. Nailed to the ceiling, a wagon wheel light, signs from bankrupt businesses. Over the hill, sluts shriek, expose more side boob than necessary, take up all the bar stools. A bright yellow poster hangs between bottles. Guys, no shirt, no service. Gals, no shirt, free drinks. This is my kingdom. These are my people. And then my last poem, the quote is, "I too have been on their cross," and it's called "Recovering Catholic." I watched my mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother willingly crucify themselves because they believed heaven would reimburse them for their day-to-day hells. They obeyed without question, passively turned the other cheek, believed misogynist mumbo-jumbo, died without having lives, bought a crock of Vatican shit. I'm tired of being a good Italian Catholic, raised on cautionary tales of sacrificed martyrs, denial, and guilt. I cut my teeth on torturous stations of the cross, spent Saturdays in catechisms, Sundays at Mass. Now I'm ready for thou shall. Want to break rules, blow off responsibility, sleep past noon, stand naked in front of the picture window, shake my tits at the postman, drink tequila shots on a Monday, drop acid, experiment with mushrooms, carelessly fuck a succession of strangers, come loudly and often without a single regret.
Yeah.